All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and we're getting some reactions from some people to the Gervonta Davis Lamont Roach fight. And we are starting to get some more sober responses to that fight. And one of my favorite fighters and the trainer of the new world champion, Gary Antoine Russell. Gary Russell Jr. spoke out about what he thought about the fight. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to use some of the old adages in boxing, one of which is you got to beat the champ to take the belt. You got to beat the champ to take his belt. It's not okay to fight him to an even fight. It's not okay to have do slightly better than him on some people's opinion. If that man's the champion, you got to go out there and you got to go get that belt. That is what many people say. Now, they're very selective with it. When it's their fighter that is playing great defense and slipping punches and winning fights, they don't mind. But when it's their fight, when it is their fighter that is having somebody refusing to fight and kind of standing in a gap and just trying to make it all super technical, man, they get upset. They get upset about it, right? But anyway, you know that rule. So when I heard Gary Russell Jr., one of my favorite fighters, one of my favorite people in boxing, talk about the Gervonta Davis fight, I was like, yeah, man, I think that you're about right on. Because basically what Gary Russell Jr. said is, look, man, Lamont didn't win that fight. Lamont didn't win that fight because Lamont didn't do enough to go get the belt from the champion. And I think he's 100%, and I think that he's 100% correct. Personally, I had Gervonta Davis up a round. Because whenever you have rounds where nobody's doing anything, I'm not just going to do what most people do, and especially people that don't like Gervonta Davis, which is just give the round to the other guy because Gervonta Davis didn't manage to knock him out that round. Okay, so this is Gary Russell Jr. clearly saying, man, no, I don't think Lamont Roach won that fight. You also had Al Bernstein, and Al Bernstein, I'm telling you, is a very, very straight, fair guy. Who I don't know if he was on that call, but he used to work with Showtime. I don't know if he was on there. I don't recall if I heard him. I think it was Rolly Ronaldo that was calling it. But Al Bernstein, who was a very, very objective person, said, hey, look, no. Sorry to break it to you, but Gervonta Davis won that fight. Yeah, Lamont Roach put up a really good fight, but Lamont Roach was not dynamic. He did not do anything to really separate himself from Gervonta Davis. He just kept it equal. He just tried to keep it even the entire fight. And that's not enough, again, to take the belt from the champion. Now, I do want to say that the people that thought that Lamont Roach won, I don't have any problem with that. I really don't have a problem with it at all. I personally, again, had a point for Gervonta Davis, but I could see how those swing rounds really could go, depending on who's looking at it, really could go different ways, right? But I had him winning. Larry Hazard, who was the ref, who was calling it on the air, the Showtime scores, not the show, the Amazon Prime scores, had Gervonta Davis winning, I think 115, 113. So it agreed with the scorecard that had Gervonta Davis winning, right? Didn't agree with the one that had a draw and didn't have the one with Lamont Roach winning. But at the end of the day, you know where we are. We're in a situation where we're going to hopefully get a rematch. Gervonta already had something scheduled, or at least negotiated. And I think Lamont Roach was already entering negotiations with Shakur Stevenson to get it done. Right? So Gervonta can exercise a rematch clause. He does have a rematch clause, but again, I just don't really know whether or not that is going to take place, whether or not that's going to take place next. And as I've said in other videos, they don't always happen next. Sometimes, like, for example, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia, they're not running it back. Devin Haney has not had a fight since he lost to Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia has not had a fight since he beat Devin Haney, and then he got it turned over with Osterine. And now they're fighting on a card. They're fighting on the same card as each other. They're not rematching they're fighting each other on the same card. So please remember, to all the people, the Devin Haney fans, the ones that remain in this world, say Gervonta Davis doesn't rematch him right away, that's ducking. Well, if Devin didn't rematch Ryan right away, is that ducking? No, it's not ducking, because he got suspended and he had the eye strain. And you got all kind of different reasons for why in his very next fight on the very same card that Ryan Garcia cannot fight, Devin Haney cannot fight Ryan Garcia. No reason why that can't happen. They've both been out of the ring the exact same amount of time, and they've both been doing a bunch of drama. So ain't no reason not to run that back. But what? Is it getting run back? No, it's not going to get run back. Is it going to get run back after that fight? More than likely, it's not going to get run back after that fight. There's going to be on to the next. Let's talk about the fight between Canelo Alvarez and Dimitri Bivol. Did Canelo Alvarez rematch Dimitri Bivol right away? After that loss? No, he did not. He walked away from it, even though that's probably not as good a comparison, because I think Dimitri Bivol dominated Canelo Alvarez. But at the end of the day, man, I like what Gary Russell Jr. said. I appreciate that, because it's just true, man. People are really piling on Gervonta Davis, and you get piled on because you're the man. You know what I mean? It's very similar to Floyd Mayweather Jr. Everything Floyd Mayweather Jr. did in a fight. I do believe one of the big things with Floyd was when Floyd had knocked out Victor Ortiz. Victor Ortiz, after Victor Ortiz tried to hug him. And they were claiming that he should have been disqualified. It was an illegal punch, and they went at it and at it and at it and at it and at it for a long time over that illegal punch that was not called a knockdown, that was called a legitimate clean knockdown against Victor Ortiz. So you constantly see this stuff in boxing. One fan base hates it. The other fan base is like, whatever about it. And at the end of the day, everything is going to work out, because at the end of the day, it's just a sport. It's just a sport for us. For the people that are fighting, it's a real deal. So, hey, congratulations again to Lamont Roach. Also, let me take a second to say congratulations to Gary Antoine Russell, who dominated the fight that he had against Rayo Valenzuela. And he really dominated the fight. If you listen to the way these haters of Tank talk about the fight, you'd swear that Lamont Roach did to Gervonta Davis what Gary Antoine Russell did to Rayo Valenzuela in a one-sided just slashing. You would swear that that's what happened, but it was nothing like that. It was a tic-tac. It was a tick and tack, back and forth kind of fight where pretty much Lamont Roach tried to pour water on any action that was taken on, really any action taken into in place. And when Gervonta initiated, then he would try to counterpunch, and he would counterpunch Gervonta and try to land the last one. Some of them missed, a lot of them were caught on the gloves, but anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully we'll get to see this rematch. I can't wait to see what Gary Antoine Russell does next. Maybe we get to see Gary Antoine Russell unify again with a rematch with Puello to unify the WBA and the WBC, the WBA and the WBC titles. I still think that is going to be a difficult fight for Gary Antoine Russell, but looking at the way he fought Rayo Valenzuela, I think it very well may be a much more winnable fight for him this time, as it seems like he matured and developed as a fighter. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.